pretty good logs.
Yeah, they're good. They're not selling flat. That's going to be about the size of them.
So 13 years ago, Dad, Kenny, and myself cut the job we're on today. Right here at Stockton, Missouri. This was a big job. It's a big farm. It's probably 600 or 700 acres total. The first time we cut here, we cut a tremendous amount of timber, just everything. Oak, walnut. We actually had a good shagbark hickory market at the time. It was a great job. Let me backtrack that. 22, maybe it was 12 years ago. Regardless, 12, 13 years ago. But today, we're still cutting some good walnut off of it. And what we're doing is I'm cutting, Kenny's in the skidder, Dad's cutting up the trees, working them up, and we're going to pile these tops. This out here in a cattle pasture, which is pretty common for southwest Missouri here. You can see these stumps. When I'm done with them, they're right at ground level. And again, this is why we bought that Fecon Stump X, because in some cases, the landowners want the stumps completely gone. With the Fecon, we can grind them out. But today, we're just cutting them low, because this gentleman we're working on is a good friend of my dad's. And several people have tried buying this timber from him, again, since we cut it the last time. And he just won't sell it to anybody but my dad. Which is nice. It's good to have people you deal with that are loyal, you work with time and time again. It wouldn't be a Monday if something wasn't wrong. The skidder's not running 100%. I think it's fuel filters. This skidder set for a couple weeks in between moving it Saturday to this job, so I told Kenny just to do what he could. We need to get the filters. Him and Kevin need to work on that. Me and Dad will keep cutting. But there's 2 trees in there I've got cut he needs to pull out so we can work them up. Old girl's just kind of spitting and sputtering. These are good trees. Dad says about all of them are like this. He said like 126, 27 of them. Decent grouping of walnut. No high grade stuff, just good size and some low grade veneer. Things like this, they hurt your good logs, amongst other things here in southwest Missouri. But main thing is the size is up there. Kenny's getting a little chainsaw therapy. Now these timber markets are drastically changing with the way the economy is, but there's one thing for sure, good logs always move. Your lower grade stuff, it'll drop off. You get to where nobody wants it, they'll put you on quotas. And I can't speak for guys that cut chipping material or pulpwood, because we don't cut that kind of stuff. We cut quality hardwoods. Trees like this, they always move. When you've got trees that have got some size and they're clean, other than that, not. I mean, it's fairly clean, but these are good logs. They've always got a home. You can always move these types of logs no matter what the market's doing, because somebody somewhere always wants them. And there's several of these trees. We're not cutting nothing real small, which is why we're back here after 12 or 13 years to cut them again, because timber management. Honestly, the best thing that could happen to the log market right now, as far as I'm concerned, here in Missouri, is that things have dipped a little bit, and that they haven't really dipped on your big, good logs. They've dipped on your smaller logs, your smaller timber. Well, that's good, because a lot of these guys that jumped in it when the market was strong, that was all they were focusing on, was cutting this small timber that does not need to be cut. That's our residual trees. That's stuff we need to let grow for the next harvest. So the good thing about these log markets changing, it's going to take a lot of pressure off timber, because it was really, like I said, I can't speak for everybody nationwide, but here we're at in Missouri, western Missouri, southwest Missouri, central northwest, it was getting it was getting hunt pretty hard. The pressure was on it, so I don't see this as being a bad thing. We've weathered a lot of storms. My family's company has. People talk about the crash of '08. It was bad. We made it through it. I've heard my dad talk about 1980, which was even worse than '08. We made it through it, and that's just it. No matter what it's doing, it doesn't matter if the market's good, the market's bad. You get up and you go to work every day. That's the key to it. Skitter's kind of leaned itself out. Kenny said it's running a lot better now. I just got to run with deer. Ordered fuel filters. My main man, Greg, down there in the parts department. Murphy in Springfield, he always takes care of me. He is by far the best dude at that whole John Deere dealer down there. Greg, he's been there a long time. He always takes care of us. He's a solid dude when it comes to parts. I don't even know where I was going to go with this next line. There's a lot of this timber on this farm we were just talking of. We didn't cut the last time, or areas we didn't cut, should I say, so we don't know what's there. So we're thinking there might be a bunch of good chinkapin oak here as well. I'm hoping. Chinkapin we can run in as stave material. I better move this Ranger. Keeping all the tops pushed up out of the field, everything nice and neat and clean. You won't even be able to tell we've been here. Yesterday in the comment section if we had 2 648s. Yes. I was talking to Kenny there, but yeah, we do have 2 648s. I can't remember if it was Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, but indeed, we've got this 12 model and the 13 model I moved yesterday. See, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just leave those things hanging, just a little bit hold, and Kenny can push them where we want them to go, keep them out of the way, keep everything nice and clear, cleaned up. He can pull that down. I'll cut that chinkapin right there. That walnut needs to be pulled down right through there so we can work it up. That's a big walnut. These are some really good chinkapin. About the same as white oak, pretty close. If you guys remember last week about my barrel I bought at the log-a-load auction, the ALC, it's made out of chinkapin. We still cut a lot of it. And these are really good chinkapin. Perfect. I think back on this job the best I can remember, because it would have been right at 13 years ago that we cut this. I know it was into October, into November. Said we cut a ton of timber out here, a lot of good walnut, and we're still cutting a lot of good walnut, even on this harvest, just because of tree selection and timber management. Just like this guy here. That's a good little walnut tree. We're not going to cut him. We're going to let him grow. He'll be good to go on the next harvest here in a few years. figured that would be tough to wrestle out. There he goes. He's back on all four. We can get this thing down to where we can just get it cut up. Yep, I think that's about it. Easy, Kenny. He wrestles them down now. Rounding out the day here. Decent pile of logs there. Still got some to drag out, which is where I'm going now. Dad's marking. Kevin is bucking up and cleaning up logs. And Kenny's winning for the day. As most of you know, Kenny's health isn't real good, so 3 days a week is about all we get Kenny for. He's got dialysis 3 other days a week, so he's with us Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and his dialysis, of course, are Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So it's always a big help when he's here to be in the skidder, because I don't really care for running the skidder, especially when we're cutting good walnut and chinkapin oak like we are. I often think back to these jobs, the ones that we've worked before, and kind of remember or think about all the things that have happened in my life since I was here the last time, which the last 13 years, there's definitely been a lot happening in my life, a lot of ups and downs, good times, bad times. When we were logging this the last time, we had a 648D swing boom grapple skidder, and we had the second skidder I'd ever bought, which was a little 540D cable machine that I was just as proud as could be of. I mean, I love that machine. I was really proud of it. Kind of wish I still had it at times too. It was a good little skidder. But it's definitely been a wild ride in the last 13 years. I think about some of the places we've logged since then, and I wish, I wish 13 years ago social media kind of would have been a thing. I'm glad it wasn't, because I'm glad social media wasn't a thing when I was growing up. I'll just put it that way. Some things didn't need to be posted to the internet. But I do wish I would have, camera phones would have been a bigger deal. I could have had more pictures, more videos of some of these job sites. That's the big thing for me. Oh boy. You don't realize how big these H's are till you gotta maneuver in places with them.